pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Call the meeting to order on January 20th, 2026. It's in public forum. Speak. I don't see any. Minutes.
Are you ready to move on? Can I ask about the agenda?
I have a question, if I may.
Okay.
Last week, Brad Jant stated that we had not adopted Robert's Rules of Orders as a process by which we conduct our meetings. KAC and I know there's no law that says we have to adopt any specific rules of order that we follow, but KAC Chapter 7 Meeting Rules of Order, they recommend that counties adopt some sort of rules of regulations. I just wonder what rules we follow.
The same ones we have for years, I guess. I don't know what the title of it is.
But where are those rules? I mean, I've not been provided those rules, and I'm just wondering what rules we do follow. I mean, we obviously follow parliamentary procedure, but what are those rules, Dave?
I can't answer you honestly. Yes, sir. On that.
KAC recommends Rosenberg's Rules of Order, which is kind of a condensed or a simplified version of Robert's Rules of Order. I guess I would like to see this board adopt some formal rules of order that we all know what rules we're playing by.
I'd say we probably been using the gentleman's rules of order. Okay. What was the name of that?
Rosenberg.
I can email that to everybody.
That's not the one that predates Roberts.
No, this was done
The
in
one that predates Roberts.
This one is actually established in California by a judge.
Put that on a wish list, I guess. Any other comments on the agenda? Make a motion to approve the agenda as is.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Five, nothing.
Okay. First, I have some change orders for you. Okay, then we have the minutes of January 12th.
Any corrections or additions to them?
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
5-0.
You're in here to sign, and also January 5th is in here to sign that you guys approved last week.
Name fixed.
Yes. All right, we have early checks in the amount of $10,608.99.
Any questions on,
Yeah, was that, Flat and Strobel check, was that for the report on the Goldenrod Bridge?
That was for the report on the burnout bridge.
Heard that bridge.
Mhm.
They're doing the report for the Goldenrod Bridge, I'm guessing, right?
I believe so. That they were doing the plans for it, I believe.
Oh, plan.
And that amount was $9,500, but we don't have those plans back yet,
Okay.
so.
the questions? I move that we approve the early checks for $10,608.99.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
5-0.
All right, in your packet is information about the 2026 standard mileage rates. It had went up to 72.5 cents per mile. Currently, we were at 70 cents for 2025. And then we have the resolution establishing the mileage rate.
In there's talks about a maximum automobile cost, 61,000. Does that handcuff us in any way? I know we're doing with the fleet, but some vehicles.
So I think the
61,000.
only thing that we're looking at is the mileage rate for personal use of vehicles and what the county will pay people if they take their own car.
I
That's
just
the
look,
only thing we're looking at
On county business.
on county business, right? And so there's a resolution in the packet, I think that Ashley's looking for adoption of.
72.5 cents per mile. The resolution number is
2026-1.
2601. I'll make a motion to approve resolution 2026-01.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Rate matching. Rate matching, yeah, 'cause just now saw the blank.
72.5.
next in your packet, we have the resolution for the board authorizing participation in the Rural Opportunity Zone Student Loan Repayment Program for calendar year 2026. We adopt this resolution every year. Just an FYI, by statute, this program is set to end June 30th, 2026, unless it is extended in the next legislative session.
Motion to approve resolution number 2026-02.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
I have a question. Do we need to limit this resolution until the existing limit on this legislation? And then if it is extended, revisit it at that time? I don't see how we can approve a resolution for something that is expiring in June.
This is what was given to us. We enter in our, like, Marion, all of our names in there. I think it's good for the year.
Just whether or not it gets refunded for next year.
All those in favor?
And in your packet was the list of outside board meetings and who is on each board. I know that it was mentioned last week to look over that. So.
Everybody wants to say the same ones you have, or you want a different one?
I've served on that skid board since the time I started. I mean, another commissioner can take it if they want it. I really feel like it ought to be someone that's in economic development or administration of that type. When I first started on that board, there was 3 or 4 county commissioners on it, and now there's myself. It's mostly there's a few bankers on it, but it's mostly economic development people, community managers, that sort of thing. It's not to say, we shouldn't have a commissioner on it. We have a representative from the county. This is an at-large position. So, a lot of those meetings, you can either attend them in person, which are down on Webb Road in Wichita, or you can attend them online.
I think we should appoint somebody from outside the commission.
Well, I've talked to Hillsborough. I don't think that will happen, but do you know the new city administrator in Marion very well?
No, I don't.
You don't? Okay.
He didn't come out of his office.
Oh, okay. It might be worth, and I don't know, does Peabody have a economic development person?
I think they do.
City manager?
Well, they have a new administrator in Peabody. They don't really have a defined economic development director right now. I don't
I could
believe.
ask the guy from Marion here.
Well, that'd be okay. I think we ought to check maybe, because Peabody's been utilizing some SCED funding on some of their projects down there, I believe. I mean, there's a meeting this week that I'll try to attend, but I think it'd be wise to, unless somebody else from the board wants to be on there. Don't see a lot of hands flying up.
I did it for you then, so.
I can reach out to the city administrators,
Okay.
if you would like, and just see if they have somebody that
Wait
would
till
be.
next week.
I just think that's, the way, the makeup of that board now, it's more leaning toward those type of people that are involved daily.
What about the solid waste authority?
Who's on that?
I'm on that, and
Okay.
I don't mind continuing that.
You take that back then? Correction board, that's Meet Junction City. You've been doing that, haven't you?
I'll stay on.
The Harvey County, Marion County.
I mean, I'm allowed a 3-year term on that, and I enjoy
You enjoyed it?
working with those folks
Okay.
and continue to do that.
I've been on the Prairie View Committee. We meet once a month, sometimes. Central Juvenile Detention,
I'll stay on.
and works with the judicial system too, does it? Or maybe different?
I'll stay on.
Water resource,
Yeah, I can handle that.
okay.
You really never know when they're gonna have a meeting. They do let you know though.
Okay.
If they're gonna have one.
The day before,
They,
okay, the only one we got left is South Central Economic Development, SCED.
Okay,
We'll bring that up next month, next week.
sounds good.
That is all I have.
Okay, in your packet, you did have a resolution for the elected official salary for 2026. This includes a one-step raise for all elected officials except the county commission. That was stayed the same, or that's how the resolution was prepared, so.
I would make a motion to, again, reduce our county commissioner salary by 10%.
I'll second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those against?
Aye.
Aye. 3-2. I make a motion, we approve the salaries all as presented.
And adopt the resolution, what's
Adopt
that
the
number?
resolution
2026-03.
2026. 03.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, the board has already approved the financing for the motor rebuilds. However, CAT was an actual resolution, and it would authorize the chairman and myself to sign documents. If you're in your previous motion, you've already authorized me to sign documents, but this would just be an official resolution stating such, and it only asks for the signature of the board. But we needed a motion to approve the resolution 2026-04 for financing.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Resolution 04.
Yes. I do have in your packet, you had write-offs for Marion County EMS, and the total amount is $2,322.50.
Any questions on that? Or
I'll make a motion to approve the write-offs, EMS write-offs.
I'll second that. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
You're doing better each time, seems like.
Pretty hard to collect these.
A lot more.
Every one of them deceased.
I did have a purchase approval request in the packet for a bed and a recliner for the Hillsborough Station. That's for that third sleeping room that Mickey is looking to establish over there. Does anybody have questions about? This is kind of heavy duty furniture. The recliner, that's the same place that we ordered it from the last time. And the EMS director would like to order from the mattress firm for the mattress and box spring and frame. The difference is between them and the other location is like $21. And we've ordered from them before and had good success, and we know it's a comparable mattress.
I'll make the motion to approve the purchase request.
Second.
Discussion?
Excuse me, I mean, it's on things like that, should we try to find the same type of furniture going down the road and get two prices?
We did that on the mattress, but he did not on the recliner, and it's barely over $1,000. We had good success with the one that we purchased the last time.
It's special made, once you got the first time.
Yeah, we had gone through several recliners before and kept having to replace them.
I know there's a difference.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Yes. 5-0.
Was that for both items or
Yes.
for, okay, thank you. And we do have some maintenance that needs to occur on the elevator. We had been looking at potentially what it would cost to replace the elevator because it's older, but, and I asked Kevin to be here to answer questions. But the technicians that are coming out say that the elevator itself is in decent shape. It's the door modules that are obsolete, cannot be replaced any longer. And so that work we would definitely need to have done. The quote that is in your packet was 11,000 something.
659.
Say 59.83.
Right, and it would take one full day to complete the work.
What does the module do?
That senses people going in or out of the elevator, opens the doors. If there's a person coming in or out, tells the door to reopen,
They're outdated now.
Yeah, and they keep malfunctioning.
Yeah,
Okay.
the last time they malfunctioned, we were out one full day at least with maybe a little more with that. That's what they said we needed when I asked, you know, hey, are we gonna have to change this whole elevator out? They said I would do this because the other stuff was repairable, I guess, so trying to start with this.
Other questions?
Seems interesting. There must be some new technicians or something because we were told for a number of years that the elevator needed to be replaced. So I'm glad that someone stepped up and said this can fix it.
Yeah.
That's what they told me. I hope you're right. So,
Make a motion, we approve the bid to $11,659.83 to repair the elevator.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 5-0.
thank you.
Okay, thanks. I did also, this quote requested 100% down payment, and I
Okay.
said we are not doing that. So we're gonna pay them 50% down and 50%
That was
on
a question that I had.
So, just so you're aware. So that has been taken care of.
You should be able to collect one before you leave.
At our land bank meeting the last time, the land bank board approved the budget, and so now I just need a motion and vote for the county commission to approve the land bank budget as requested.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. I did want to mention that Tom Holland had a chance to go and drive that semi that you all approved, purchasing that used semi. He's happy with it, so we're going to go ahead and move forward with that purchase. He is going to want to go ahead and get a trailer ordered, and I just wanted to make sure that he has got the go-ahead and to get those quotes or to get what he needs to get that trailer moving forward, so.
Trailer belly dump.
A belly dump.
Get new quotes.
Well, we could go back through the same company we got it through before, but he wants to make some changes, so I imagine we'll just grab some new quotes and make sure nothing major has changed, so. So, everybody good with moving ahead with those quotes?
Yes.
Yeah.
I didn't see a reason not to, because that's why we bought the truck, but I just wanted to make sure before I said to go ahead and get those, so. Okay, then I did have, so there are a couple of other items that I've got listed as action items, and those I would say we do when the treasurer is here, because they pertain specifically to her office and some things that she's going to tell you, so. I did have my administrative report in the packet. Does anybody have any questions?
I have a question. Your department updates, the appraiser is 997 personal property accounts were eliminated due to ad valorem tax changes. Those 997 people notified of that.
I can find out.
I don't know what that was. Is it boats?
Well, the whole,
Boats and some other things that got dropped off.
right.
You need the checks right off.
We're gonna do that when Tina Graining is here.
Okay. That's
Any
right.
other questions? I'll follow up on that for you next time. I don't know the answer today. Okay, that's all I had for now.
Talk about the Harvey County resolution.
One quick question on this right-of-way permit application in the packet. Where exactly is that? it's on 100th, but there's no indication of,
Did you look at the map? Does it show in the section, township, and range on that map?
it's section 17, but
That's 100th. And so it's along 100th?
yeah, but what's the north-south road?
Okay, I don't know the answer to that either. 80th, 90th. I can find out. Those, when the road and bridge superintendent approves those, I just verify that the paperwork is included, and so it's more of an administrative sign off, but I did not notice the north-south road was not there.
Anything else? Is anything else?
Do you want to move the
we can do
executive
that.
session later for Ashley?
Go ahead with the county treasurer.
Yes. Your turn.
Okay,
You got the stage.
I'd like to start just quickly by telling you a little bit about the taxes that we collected and distributed in 2025. Our 2025 tax payments, our distribution period actually goes from October 15 through December 31st. We received our first 2025 current tax payments on November 6th. So between November 6th and December 31st, we received $17,861,324.02. This is actually only the second time since I've worked here, which has been about 11 and a half years, that we received all of the mailed taxes and had them all worked before December 31st, which is kind of amazing. The staff, they are very capable and very skilled, and they really worked hard and got it done and kept up this year.
You New Year's Day off.
I did. I gave him that day off. So because we had collected all that tax on January 15th, we were actually able to distribute $9,531,185,015 to the entities listed, which are the schools, the hospitals, the fire departments, the cities. All of those districts got their money by the 15th of January. But it went really well. We had 2 manual checks, and all of the rest were sent out by ACH. We sent them through Central National Bank, out of Central National Bank as an upload for the first time, and that went really well. Didn't have any problems with that. So that was very easy and no problems, which I liked.
You save postage that way.
Yeah, you definitely do. You definitely do. And it's very secure. Joel Poole at Central National Bank kind of talked to me a little bit one day, and he said, one of the biggest forms of fraud they're dealing with is checks, physical checks that are stolen out of people's mailboxes, and they go make copies and they try to cash them at as many places as they can. And Joel said, they probably make it to 2 or 3 places before the red flags go up and they get stopped. And so ACH is a very secure way of sending it out, because not even those guys can see the account numbers on those. So pretty secure.
Banks don't charge for that either, so.
There was no cost to send that distribution. So that was good. So the second thing I wanted to talk about was the collection of delinquent personal property tax payments. Wanting to talk about possibly doing that at the treasurer's office rather than sending it over to the sheriff's office. And I don't want to over-explain because I might over-explain, so I just, to hit the basics, KSA 79-2101 says that the treasurer must deliver warrants to the sheriff and direct the sheriff to collect the delinquent personal property taxes. So how that works is then the sheriff collects all that money and they send it back over to the treasurer on the last day of each month, and we're receipting it on that last day back into our system. But what that means is that both the sheriff's office and the treasurer's office have to receipt the same tax. We're doing double the work. It's not very efficient. It's not an efficient system. Per KSA 123901, it does allow the commission to consolidate operations of two offices in the interest of efficiency. I've talked with a lot of the treasurers around the state, about half of the county, roughly half and half of them collected in the treasurer's office, half of them send it over to their sheriff's office. But when I asked the ones who collected in the treasurer's office and keep it there, how they got around that statute, they said the KSA 123901 is giving the commission authority to kind of consolidate some operations in the interest of efficiency is how they did it. The warrants would still be, we still create warrants for the unpaid delinquent personal property tax. It would still be mailed in the sheriff's envelope, still on the sheriff's letterhead, so that we keep, I always call it some of the clout. I guess to back explain, we sent out a letter. We sent a letter saying, hey, no big deal, but you forgot to pay your tax. You know, can you get that paid? 2 weeks later, if they still haven't paid it, we need the sheriff's clout to help us get it collected. So I think I provided you a copy of the resolution. I did borrow that wording from another county who has made this same resolution in their county. Do you have any questions about that whole process? I'm glad to explain, but I don't want to over-explain if you don't need it.
Brad agrees with this, as far as you know.
Good question. It has not been vetted by Brad. No, the other county used it. I just inserted our information with what their county used, but I can definitely run it by Brad first.
I just like his confirmation that this is.
Sheriff's Department's fine with losing this job.
More happy.
I brought along Sarah just so she could
She could nod yes.
We get questions, they come in to pay and they call and say, what's this about? I paid this. I mean,
Yeah.
it just is, there's just a lot that I end up having to refer a lot of people back to the treasurer's office. Cause I say, I just take the money, I know nothing else. So this would just alleviate, I think if the taxpayers would appreciate it more. And we have revamped the letter that we did.
I included a copy of that.
To say that we revamped on Friday and put in bold that this year payment will be made to the treasurer's office.
So if this is something that you guys are on board with, we would change the letter to read that so people understand that they would just bring the payment to us.
I have no objection.
Sounds like a good plan to me.
Maybe you can save labor.
Yeah,
So this is just personal property taxes, it's not
correct.
ad valorem taxes?
Exactly, yeah. Ad valorem tax goes through, real estate tax goes through a different process. This is specifically personal property tax.
Do you need a motion or this blessing?
What do you think, Ashley? Like,
Well, if you're gonna approve the resolution, you need to make a motion,
Okay.
unless you wanted it to go through Brad first.
I'd make a motion to approve resolution 2026-05 pending staff review.
Second.
Kent, all those in favor?
Aye.
Alright,
I vote you.
thank you. Also, one other thing that we have are outstanding checks left from 2023. These are checks that were written in 2023 that have not been cashed, haven't cleared. And so per KSA 10-815, checks that are outstanding more than 2 years may be canceled. We have $2,081 worth of checks still outstanding from 2023. So I was wondering if you would be willing to let us write those off.
I make a motion to write off or cancel those outstanding checks in the amount of $2,081.
Second. Discussion or? All in favor? Aye.
So there is one other motion that we typically make at the beginning of each year regarding banking. And I don't know if we need to do it every year, but we usually do, or we always do. And it's just a motion and a vote to deposit funds in all Marion County banks authorized by law.
And Tina, after we talked, I did put together a brief overview of that if you want.
Okay.
So just to clarify, we do have public funds deposited in every bank in Marion County. We have 7 checking accounts with Marion National Bank for payroll, KDWP, payroll flex, Blue Cross Blue Shield, a bond, credit card transaction deposits, Corps of Engineer deposits, plus 4 CDs. And I know you guys get this is the way I think of things, but I can also read things linearly too. Also, we have 4 checking accounts with Central National Bank for accounts payable, ambulance department credit card transaction deposits, health department credit card transaction deposits, CMV deposits, and ACH escrow payment deposits. We have 2 checking accounts with Tampa State Bank for online tax payments, deposits, as well as E911 deposits, and 4 CDs with Tampa. Then we also have CDs at Citizen State Bank, Enterprise Bank, Vintage Bank, and Prospect Valley Bank. So we distribute the money liberally everywhere.
Anybody charge you for banking?
Good question. No, there is no charge. We earn interest on most checking accounts. There are a couple I was, after talking with Tina Spencer, I'm gonna be asking that we haven't previously earned interest on because we had been keeping the balance at 0. So I'm gonna be following up and asking if we could be earning some interest on those checking accounts now that we are keeping the balance.
Keep 20,000 in there or something like that.
Exactly, yes, exactly. So, yeah, I'll definitely be in conversation with a few.
Not much, but it adds up at the end of the year.
It does, you're right, it really does, yeah, and it's worth asking, and if it can't be on that type of account, we can transition to a different type of account that does, so, yeah.
We're still actively bidding the CDs.
Yes, if we have a CD with an entity, and they're willing to meet or exceed MIP rate, I'll leave it with them. If they're not willing to meet or exceed MIP rate, I put it out for bid.
We're starting to enter a little bit of a down interest, and so it might be worthy to bid some of that stuff.
Yeah.
You bid out in county or keep it all in the county?
No, this is the in-county bids. Plus, we use a municipal pool also, but municipal pools rates are typically lower.
Good job.
I have a question for you, and I talked with Ashley about this. You said that all of your tax disbursements were basically an ACH payment.
Yeah, except 2, yeah.
We're writing annual checks for $6 for $4.52 for $3.49. I would assume that it costs us more than $3.49 to write a check and mail it out. Can we look at doing ACH payments for all of our?
Yeah, we definitely are open to that idea, definitely. We've been talking, kind of in discussion about doing bill payments by ACH. There needs to be some groundwork laid prior to actually beginning, but yeah, we're on board.
I mean, all it takes is when you, I'm sure that when we get a new vendor for the county, we get information to them. It's a matter of collecting one additional form, an ACH vendor form.
Yeah, and our
adding that
system.
into the system.
Yeah.
I think we can save, what does it cost the county to write a check?
I don't know the exact amount, but it's not free for sure. There's a cost to it.
$5 probably.
Yeah, I would imagine. I mean, the cost for buying
Right, but
checks is.
Cookies are 70 cents, the envelope's 50 cents.
Yeah,
And when you're writing a check for $3.49, we're losing money.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then with an ACH payment, if it comes back, I mean, it comes back.
yeah. I actually had a discussion with a taxpayer who miswrote their check. They wrote it for too much, and I asked if they would just come in and replace that check with one that's written correctly. They wanted me to issue them an overpayment, and I explained, there's a cost to, it wouldn't be feasible for me to write an overpayment check for your overpayment. I wouldn't charge any interest for just, coming in even after the date and replacing that check with a correct one. And the person wasn't very happy with me for that, but again, it doesn't seem very cost effective to write an overpayment check to correct someone's error. A manual check like that.
I had to listen to it for 20 or 30 minutes too.
Sorry, I try not to make them mad for you guys.
I'd like to see the county move in that direction. You're not gonna eliminate writing checks, but if we reduce our check writing by 90%, you're saving a lot of money
I agree.
and a lot of time.
We've been talking about it, we've been meeting about it, so.
Let's keep
Make it
that,
happen.
keep that conversation. I mean, here we wrote a check for 5 cents. That makes, that's.
Which one is
those
that?
checks actually, if it's all the same vendor, that's showing how it's charged out to the different funds. So the check amount would potentially be a combination of all that.
Was that AT&T?
Might be
It
3 or
was
4
a voice
forms.
text key.
Right.
This is a total check rewrite. Our Central National Bank #1 AP checks. We got one to voice text communications for 5 cents. Doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me.
That is true.
Be so much better to just wire it back into their account. That'd be much better.
Much simpler.
It'd be much simpler if they wouldn't charge us if it's only 5 cents.
Yes.
Well,
Sorry.
you're right, but
I know.
Yes.
The computers do that.
Right.
I think along that same
The
note.
grand scheme of business.
Yes.
Yeah.
Along that same note, something to keep in mind too is that they are no longer making the penny. And so, places like Casey's and Dollar General already, if you pay in cash, they're not paying you the change, the full amount in the pennies that you're needing, they're rounding. So that's coming. A policy will need to be created in the near future about to address that. I'm definitely planning to visit with the other counties at KCTA conference in February and ask if any of them have already drafted a plan, what they're thinking of doing. Because there's a lot of people there that have been at it a lot longer than me, so I'll ask them those questions. I think Ashley was planning to ask some of the treasurers or some of the clerks if they've how they're addressing it as well. But just to give you a heads up that is something that we'll need to be addressing in the near future.
Now, did you all want to make a motion to deposit at all Marion County banks, or?
I make a motion that we Treasury Department authorization deposit in all Marion County banks to her discretion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Go back to work.
Sarah, don't talk so much next time.
What?
Don't talk so much next time.
I'll try not to.
More executive session.
Wait till the end if you want to.
Harvey County Resolution.
Yeah, so the next thing on the agenda is the commission discussion regarding a moratorium on data center and battery energy storage systems.
I brought this up,
Sharon, you wanna come in?
the two resolutions that are attached in your packet were by Harvey County. The issue of data centers and battery storage facilities present, in my opinion, significant environmental hazards and or power and water demand issues for the county. Anybody that knows anything about data centers, they require a tremendous amount of energy. One data center would probably use twice as much energy as the entire county.
Sharon has some information on this. The county has already done something.
We did it on, data mining.
On
Crypto
cryptocurrency
mining.
mining.
We haven't done it on battery storage.
We haven't done it on battery storage or data centers. Battery storage facilities, you're looking at acres and acres of basically Connex buildings storing tens of thousands of pounds of lithium ion batteries, which I didn't bring it, but there was one facility in California this year caught fire. Just like an electric vehicle, when those lithium ion batteries catch on fire, you can't put them out, you let them burn out. They release who knows what they're releasing into the environment. And with the state of Kansas, all those facilities are basically tax exempt. They've got a tax abatement on those, so they're no economic value to the county and present significant environmental hazards. If you triple the energy consumption in Marion County, they don't pay for it, we pay for it, because when you increase your demand, your rates go up. Whether it be needing to upgrade transmission lines, whatever, all those costs come back to the Marion County citizens in their electric bills. The water issue, again, would probably triple the water demand for the county. And I just don't think that we have the water capabilities in this county to triple our use without impacting Marion County residents. So I think this is an issue that we need to address sooner than later. The World Economic Forum has come out and picked Kansas as a laboratory for basically wanting to bring all this stuff into Kansas because they feel like we don't count. They would just as soon have all of us leave and fill up Kansas with this stuff so that they can provide for the rest of the country. So there's a lot of good information in these two documents. There's resolutions that have already been passed and adopted by Harvey County, which I assume Brad has reviewed these because he's also their county counselor, so there should be no legal concerns with these documents. And I would make a motion that this board adopt these resolutions, changing the wording to Marion County and
forward with this.
Don't want to involve Brad that you need to make any changes to it first.
He's already signed off on me.
He should have reviewed this, but
Well, no, he did for Harvey County, but
All we gotta do is
I
change.
wonder if it would make sense to, for your motion to direct the county counselor to provide a resolution on these topics for approval by the board. Instead of just adopt their resolution, but change the word, it might be better to.
Well, then I move that we adopt amendments to these, regulate these resolutions to fit Marion County, pending that review by Brad and presentation to this board that we move forward with this.
a couple of weeks ago, we decided that if we brought something up this week, we wouldn't take any action on it until next week. We'd have to think about it. So this would fall into that. We can't take any action this week. We present it.
The action would be basically having Brad
Yeah.
present
The
the.
action is to develop these resolutions for Marion County and bring them back to this board,
for
not to
approval.
not to sign them today. We can't sign anything because we don't have it.
I was thinking that, huh?
Motion.
Question, does this include gravitational energy storage as well? GESS? I haven't had a chance to review this.
This is just,
Just BESS?
BESS, and data centers
Okay,
are the only two that we're looking at.
okay. I might want to consider looking into GESS as well. That would be underground storage, same concept. Similar hazards.
Add that.
We can.
what's that called, Sharon?
It's GESS, gravitational energy storage systems or.
Are there any counties that are into that? Do you know?
They are trying to look into areas that would support that in Kansas. Similar to like the hydrogen sequestering. It would take an abandoned well or an oil and gas well that's no longer used for that purpose that would be sufficient. There are a bunch of formulas and that have to do with pressure and depth and different things like that to determine whether it would be feasible or not.
What type of materials are they proposing to store in?
Energy.
Do you, I mean, on all these topics, you don't have any text to regulate any of these things right now, right?
The only thing that we do have, we did include data center with the cryptocurrency mining in that resolution in 2024.
I mean, moratorium is always good move to, when you don't have anything to regulate it. Until you get your words in order, you can't.
We don't know anything about it.
You want to add to your? Or just keep it as?
I would keep this motion as is, because this is, but I would make another motion that we
Deal that with.
Let me have
go
it.
with that one
Okay.
at
I'm ready to vote, Dave.
All those in favor?
I would make a motion that we look into potential other threats to Marion County, including gravitational energy storage and anything else that that may be coming down the pike, because
Got underground nuclear reactors too.
Parsons,
Parsons.
Mile Deep. I'd second that.
All those in favor?
Aye. Sitting in front of us, we can.
Are you ready to move on to the next agenda item here? The 1:30? So Jonah, you had asked for an update on the 1803 Indigo and then generally
All the other
discussing
ones.
nuisance properties and enforcement, so.
Just asking, you've exhausted all your resources and what direction the board can go in order to take it to the next step if they're not playing. If they're not playing along, what can we do?
Excuse me. So I believe I've exhausted all of my administrative authorities at this point. I know Brad has sent some letters to the property owners and any known individuals that were associated with the properties. As far as the one south of Hillsborough, we've had some remediation, but it's still not to the point that I feel the city of Hillsborough is happy with. Some of those items where we don't really have a good mechanism as a county to be able to enforce. Ours are more geared towards environmental factors. And then I believe it's like 3 inoperable vehicles is the limit as far as the county can regulate. Cities have more mechanisms to be able to address nuisances and get remediation than the county does. And I'm not well versed at what some of those next steps are, but I know that it would probably involve some sort of injunction.
Is there anything that you've ever noticed or heard of? So we talk about the cities having the extraterritorial, 3 mile or whatever. Is there anything anywhere in Kansas where they actually work with cities and they can use their resources to go outside those limits for enforcement?
Some cities do have extraterritorial jurisdiction. None of the cities in Marion County do because it comes with a lot of extra responsibilities that they're not set up to be able to handle.
Just didn't know if the county says, yeah, we agree that this is a problem. And then that authorizes the city to step outside their bounds. I didn't know if that was an option or.
That would probably be a Brad question, I think. I don't know the answer to that.
I guess my concern is if we're gonna take action against this individual for some inoperable vehicles or inoperable vehicles all over Marion County. And we can't pick and choose which ones we ready to think about.
There's more than just inoperable vehicles, though.
Tires, there's batteries.
Yeah, all kind of stuff. I mean, to me is, at what point can we start assessing civil money penalties? I realize we never collect them, but
That's
I mean, that's the biggest teeth you can throw into things.
right.
You're right, Clark. We have other properties too that need.
Yeah, I know, we've got other properties beside these that have already had some remediation done, and then it just like They stopped there and maybe started again or just left it the way it was.
And again, that takes some sort of injunction to be able to find them.
I mean, it comes down to court action, basically.
Would the better option for Hillsborough be for them to annex that property into the city limits and let them?
I was hoping they might buy it when it was for sale, but. Okay.
If they annexed that property, there would be some other properties that would get annexed. Right across the road, for one.
Yeah, directly across the road.
And, you know, if they're going in a radius, I don't know how many that would involve. If they're just going to the south, they're gonna be,
There's one more property
several.
between the city of Hillsborough and that property, so you can't do an island annexation. It would have to be directly connected to that property.
No, I'm not sure about that.
if you extend a city boundary, I mean, does it have to go all the way around the city?
It doesn't have to, no.
Okay.
No, they put that casino out there on the turnpike, and all they did was annex
That piece.
stretches to get there.
Oh,
Yeah,
Nick,
yeah. They built a annex bridge to it.
They can't donut annex, I think is the term that they use for that.
Yeah, I think that there might be some different exceptions, you know, because for example, we have the city of Marion, they have an airport that is, you know, there are other cities that have a piece of property that is part of the city, but is actually outside
outside the city.
the contiguous city limit, so.
City lagoons and things like
Yeah.
that, yeah.
So those are things, I mean, so I don't know all the ins and outs of that specifically, but.
I mean, we can
So
try. I think there's maybe one more letter that could be sent to that property owner. I'm not, without Brad here, I can't find out where he's at with that particular letter, but there may be one more letter that we can send and especially address those tires and the batteries that are sitting there.
yeah, and the cars that they just move. They just move them around.
They did remove some.
They did
They
remove
removed
quite a bit.
One, and then they just moved the other one. It was tucked back in. You couldn't see it because the trees had foliage on them. Now you can see it.
I mean, you know, we could suggest some sort of screening, if that would help.
Yeah.
That's not gonna remediate the problem, but it would make it less visible. We do have, I know for a fact, 3 other properties in the county that we've been working on for a long time that are much worse.
You had some headway with the one,
Yes.
but not the other two.
No, we've had a hard time contacting anyone associated with one of the properties, and then we didn't have any real help from one because the property owner passed away and the land was left to someone else.
Of course, this is a Brad question, but I'm just curious if there's ever been any court action in the state that actually led to forfeiture. Where, you know, if you had to take something to court that you'd have case law that you could go back on. And, you know, I don't know. That's a question for him, but
Jail time, you mean?
I mean, yes, so not so much jail time as they forfeited their property.
Yeah, I mean, the fines can work. I know that, the city of Gossel was also dealing with one of the properties. The person owned some property inside the city limits and outside the city limits. And the city of Gossel was able to use the fines, that mechanism, and it got him to clean that stuff up in a hurry, and he did quite a bit of work on his property out in the county as well. But that's a property owner that's been receptive to that communication with the county and has been willing to make those efforts.
It almost seems like when it comes to a community like that property on Indigo, annexation's probably the fastest way to get it taken care of. But then you're gonna have some other people to deal with too, whether they be happy or not.
Well, not only that, you know, typically if you're annexing, that might mean that you have to provide some
Services.
infrastructure.
Right.
So,
There'd be a lot of things to consider before, you know, somebody would probably do that.
in all of these cases, would a code enforcement officer be of any value?
I'm not sure what's available to unincorporated portions of the county as far as nuisance abatement.
I know Sedgwick's a hard one to compare to, but doesn't matter where I go, I have code enforcement. Doesn't matter if I'm in the country or it's all the same. So, I know counties can do it. I don't know what the threshold is.
Ins and outs and
How you would set it up to start with, basically. Investigate.
And they're usually, it's usually tied together with fire marshal office somehow. It's typically how that all goes.
Same place.
Again, if we decide to go with a code enforcement officer, you know, we need to be prepared to address everybody equitably.
These are 4 areas, and there's about 100 just over that way a little ways. That the code enforcement officer could help out with.
Make sure.
No resolution yet.
Okay.
We
I
just
just
want
wanted
So
to,
we put that on the
I
list.
just wanted to know that you have done everything you can.
More puzzlement required.
moving on. Thank you, Sharon.
Thanks. Want to do the personnel one or go ahead and do Ashley's election security one? Executive session, which would you like to do? This one. Okay. Because they don't know that.
Right on the south side of town, right before you get to, you're coming in from the south, before you get to Woolwich.
We'll move and recess in executive session. We want to discuss election security pursuant to KSA 75-431-9D. Matters related to security measures of the board, Ashley and Michelle Looper.
How long? 5 minutes? Probably 10, just to be able to get in and out.
She's on both. 10 minutes, we'll be back at 1:55.
On the west side, coming to the.
I second that. I knew what you were looking for, Ashley. Nobody else is paying attention, so.
All in favor?
Okay.
We're back in Attention, no action was taken. Commissioners' comments, Owen?
We've got one more.
One there.
I move that we recess in executive session in order to discuss job performance of specific employee pursuant to KSA 75-4319B for personnel matter. Ward Tina, 10 minutes. We'll start again at 2:00.
201,
It's,
206? 7?
10 minutes.
Go ahead.
Make sure you read the rest of that, please, with open session to resume.
Until 2:07 with open session, resume back in session.
Got these, Lisa.
Would you mind passing this back to me?
Watch the clock. Call back to order, no action was taken. Anything else? Any commissioners' comment?
Legislature's working on a 3% cap on evaluations, as far as property evaluations.
State is, yeah.
So it's something to keep an eye on. I know we went revenue neutral along with about 40 other counties. And apparently not everybody's been behaving quite as well as we have been. 3 commissioners resigned over at Seward County. So they just allowed the evaluations to go sky high and they just kept the mill levy right where it was. And so now the state's getting involved.
Was down to I go to the transfer station every week, but I noticed today that it's a mess. That's all blown over. Went all over that property to the south last year. It's just getting plugged up and it's plugged up again. And also that we talked about the fish ponds down there, and that Road and Bridge was gonna do something about that this summer or this fall. And there's standing water there like it rained an inch yesterday. I don't know why they
What are you
can't
talking
hold.
about, fish ponds?
He's talking about
Right
puddles.
down to the transfer station.
Oh,
The
so just
The puddles that never dry.
puddles,
They
okay.
got potholes, but I don't know why they couldn't just get a couple truckloads of screenings or something in there. It's terrible. And
Okay.
plus, I think Mike's got a comment on fence.
Okay,
And the security issues on that west fence, you know, it's been knocked down pretty large portion. I know it was mentioned in the past. Nothing's been done to correct that at all, any way, shape, or form.
You can work
Gave them a
on,
magnet, but just with a little drive around there, it's hard to think that they've used it yet, which is only been a week or two.
okay, we can work
And I
on
agreed
this.
with Ken, or even called him and said, are you going to the transfer station? I says, it just came from there. I agree that somehow we need to police that better with the trash blowing around.
It's been so windy lately.
Doesn't matter, you just gotta deal with it.
You know, I hate regulations, period, but I mean, I go to the transfer station every other week. And I try to have it all bagged up and, you know, I see people in there with dumpsters on their bail bed and they dump and.
I understand people throw that stuff in the window if the wind's right, but, you know, and I'm not saying the guys down there aren't busy. But when I was there was nobody in there, there was very little trash, and there's several employees standing around talking. To me, whoever the supervisor is, to say, when you have those times, even if it's 10 minutes or something, go out and collect some of that stuff.
I mean, you know, I don't know, do we direct them to keep a supply of trash bags that they can go out and, you know,
They probably have some, but I don't know.
bag that stuff up and then blow. I mean, I pick up trash out there every time I'm out there. If there's something outside the door, I'll pick it up and try to.
Yeah, I'm
stuff it.
talking about the property on the other
But,
side
yeah.
of the street, which
But-
if I owned that, I wouldn't be very happy.
But my point is, if we clean it up when it's still on the transfer station property,
Right.
then it doesn't blow there.
Right.
And every so often, you know, stuff that gets away, clean it up. And I don't wanna tell people that everything has to be in,
Well,
Sealed in.
there's always gonna be some, just because we got wind.
yeah.
Anything else?
Guess the last, new tandem truck that'll be our new dump truck finally got to Florence last week after being held up at the border for 3 months. It's finally delivered to here, so they start getting the bed put on it so we can use it somewhere in the near future.
Guess I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Those in favor?
Aye.